ultimate man of adventure. You energize his heart, lungs, and body fluid into pulsating action. Then load a mission disc into his brain. Imagine you make his heart beat for land adventures. His lungs pump for high-altitude missions. Pulsar. Imagine you energize him for exciting feats of strength. Pulsar, the ultimate man of adventure. New from Mattel.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mark's Action Figures. This is our 10th episode, and as promised, I will be reviewing Pulsar, the ultimate man of adventure. What if I told you that in the 1970s, a toy company created an action figure that just didn't look human? It actually tried to simulate life itself. A beating heart, breathing lungs, flowing blood, and you controlled it. Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into one of the strangest, boldest, and most unforgettable action figures ever made. Pulsar, the ultimate man of adventure. Now, understand Pulsar, you have to go back to the mid-1970s. This was the golden age of experimental toys. Companies weren't just making action figures, they were trying to push boundaries. And right in the middle of that era was Mattel, already a powerhouse thanks to lines like Barbie, Hot Wheels, and their growing presence in boys' action figures, namely the Big Jim action figure line. Now, at the time, one of the biggest competitors in the market was the $6 million Man toy line by Kenner. That figure had bionic vision, engineered strength, removable parts. I remember you could roll up the skin on his arm and it revealed some electronic components. He had the bionic eye you could actually see through and pretend you were looking through the eyes of Steve Austin. So Mattel needed something that would stand out to compete. Instead of going more mechanical, they went biological. That's where Pulsar was born in 1976. Yes, this guy is 50 years old. Instead of a cyborg hero, Pulsar was something else entirely. A synthetic human powered by internal systems that could actually see and activate. I mean, you could see his lungs, you could see his heart, you could see the blood flow as you would push on his back. It was bold. It was innovative. And honestly, it was a little unsettling. The line didn't last long, only about 2 years, but it left a permanent mark on collectors and toy history. All right, let's talk about the figure itself, because this is where things get really interesting. Pulsar stands out at about 13.5 inches tall, putting him in the large format category, similar to other premium figures of the time. But the moment you look at him, you realize this is not a normal action figure. Right in the center is the most iconic feature, a clear chest cavity that reveals his heart, his lungs, his vascular system. And this isn't just for show. On his back, there's a pump. And when you press it, the heart pulses, the lungs expand and contract. The liquid inside simulates blood flow. For a kid in the 70s, this was mind-blowing. It's like having a living anatomy model disguised as an action hero. And then there's the head. If you lift the face, you will expose his brain, and you can insert a mission disc. And suddenly you're not just playing with a toy, you're programming Pulsar's brain. Now, realistically, the disc didn't actually change functionality, but psychologically it made you feel like you were assigning missions, giving purpose, and creating stories. And that's where the magic really happened. Pulsar's look is classic 70s sci-fi. Red and black suit, white boots, emblem on the chest, slightly futuristic, slightly medical aesthetic. He feels like a space explorer, a mix between that and a lab experiment and prototype human. Yeah. Now, not everything aged well. The internal blood often dried out and discolored. The pump system could fail over time. Some versions had partially painted torsos, which reduced the visual impact. Now, mine, this one is 50 years old, as you can see. The chest plate, the transparency has yellowed a little bit. The rubber components of the lungs and heart have become old. They will crack. They will. I don't dare push on the back to try to inflate. In fact, I don't think it would inflate anymore. So, plastics and materials don't age well necessarily, and that's just the price to pay for time. It is what it is. So, for some kids, this toy wasn't heroic. It was kind of creepy. Unlike the $6 million man, Pulsar didn't have a backstory, television show to support the line. He was pure imagination. You needed to create your own story. So here's the thing. When I was a kid, none of that mattered. Because Pulsar wasn't just a toy. He had a story. One that I created in my mind. Pulsar wasn't built on Earth. It was created in a deep space research facility orbiting a dying star. A team of scientists had one mission: to create a being capable of surviving environments no human could. Extreme radiation, zero oxygen, hostile alien worlds. They just didn't create or build a machine. They built a living system. A synthetic human with visible life cores, self-regulating biological systems, and a programmable neural matrix. That's why you could see inside him. Because his body wasn't meant to hide anything. It was designed for constant monitoring and survival. And those discs, they weren't toys, they were data modules. Each one contained mission parameters, environmental data, tactical directives. When inserted, Pulsar didn't just receive orders, he became the mission. But something went wrong. During a high-risk mission near a collapsing star, Pulsar was exposed to an unknown energy surge. It didn't destroy him. It changed him. He began to develop something unexpected: autonomy. Not just programming, not just response, but something closer to free will, complete sentience. Pulsar crash landed on Earth, damaged, alone, still learning, and now, well, he walks among us. Not as a machine, not fully human, but something in between. A guardian, an explorer, a being trying to understand what it means to be alive.
I must save them!
And that's what makes Pulsar so special. Not just the mechanics, not just the design, but the imagination it unlocked. It wasn't just another action figure. It was science fiction, biology, storytelling. all packed into one of the most unique toys ever made. I remember when I got Pulsar on Christmas Day, 1976. I got Pulsar, and on the same Christmas Day, a 12-inch Mego Incredible Hulk. I know I have a picture somewhere of myself holding these figures on that December 25th of 1976. What wonderful memories. Pure joy. Today, Pulsar stands as a reminder of a time when toy companies took risks and sometimes created something truly unforgettable. If you remember Pulsar, or this is your first time seeing him, let me know in the comments. Was he awesome or just plain creepy? And if you're into deep dives on vintage and modern toys like this, make sure to subscribe, share, comment, and I will see you in the next review.